Yes.
Then we are set.
Yeah, you are. So good to see you.
Mute us.
You made it.
We made it thanks to you. We're all here.
That's my godmother.
Yeah, how are you standing up all this time? You got all these problems.
Sarcoid in the back.
Well, we have here. We're okay with that, having you ask for that.
I'm coming. I'm making my way over there real quick.
Looks so good.
Thank you. Hiding behind glasses and a mask, I must look really good.
Sarah?
Yeah.
I think maybe you should sit. But
Should I sit further up or? I mean, I'm out of the way.
Yeah,
I found over the years that people tell were better these things.
Yeah.
Right. I said I learned over the years paper towels work better
At what? Oh,
paper towels work.
they don't shred.
They don't shred. They don't fall apart.
Say that
It's
again?
true.
They're little
Yeah.
brawny.
There you go. That's a good. I didn't bring anything.
How's your battery doing?
It's okay. 37, I think it'll be all right. I didn't have it charged right before, but
my mom,
My phone is charged, so.
my mom's been gone
maybe swap.
6 years and.
You want to?
Do you by any chance have Priya ribbons?
I still
Yeah.
think.
You have Priya ribbons?
Yeah,
All the
I think
time,
that's probably a good
guess
idea.
that's what
Priya
you're talking
ribbons?
about.
Priya?
We're all being-
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
Any of those
65%.
Okay. Those are-
Didn't bring it.
Terry.
Oh.
I didn't know.
Thank you. No, I don't know the term.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be all right. Let me double check on that. Oops, where are we?
So we're not gonna be able to share water? That's one of their protocols?
That's for hand washing.
Rinsing your hands. That's
We're
all.
not gonna be doing that. The protocol is to use these wipes they have.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right,
We're
Sarah,
ready.
tell me the
If you-
thing.
If everybody could
Okay,
gather.
sorry.
We're just gonna switch the which phone we're using for the hotspot. So you might get
It's-
choppy for a
It's
minute.
it's very long and weird.
But what's the?
Oh, it's Sarah's iPhone.
All right,
Okay, and
just show
then,
me.
oh, I can just share the hotspot with you.
Oh, well,
Technology.
yeah. Look at that. Okay, are we on? Yeah, we're good.
Cool.
Okay, you guys back? We're good? Okay, great. I'm gonna turn down the light a little bit. Save that battery. Great, and we're good.
Yes.
So Sasha, Sarah, can you put on some gloves?
I love you, Ella.
Sasha,
You want to?
I remember when you were at my mother's funeral. Oh, you did such a great job. She loves you still.
going, please. So you can leave this on. We'll put on some gloves. And Steve and Ann.
My mother. My mother loves you to this day.
Are you still talking to her? Are you still talking to
I
her?
don't know. I guess we'll have
Oh,
to-
every day, morning and night and noon.
I think they said they were gonna come.
One more of you. Get
this
over
way
here.
right here.
Coming.
Oh, whatever they say.
There.
Oh.
Get over here. I don't know what's the matter with these people today. They're standing around like lumps.
You're gonna help. You better get over there quickly.
That's a beautiful story.
It is beautiful.
And she died on her birthday.
So it's easy to remember the date.
Hey, you know what else? Moses died on his birthday.
Well, that just sucks, doesn't it?
And there's
No, no,
something
no, no.
really big about that.
Nobody else can touch, only the board.
I'll have to look it
That's
up.
sad. Wow.
Okay,
Part of the strange rules are out there.
It's just sad.
okay, so,
So we're not.
No, they are. That,
no, no.
He said they're not
he said they're not
that's
allowed.
not.
But it doesn't matter, Barbara.
Yeah.
Barbara, Barbara,
Thank you. I have them in my phone, yes. Okay. Elijah. Yeah, I was, you were close. Close enough. My sister told me so many wonderful things about you. And that you have a new grandchild that's probably a year old.
5.
Oh, I can't believe it, really. But she always talked about your daughter and the baby and you. You know, she was a great historian.
I did not know that.
Oh, oh, yes. If you want to know something, yes, yeah. I'm gonna back her. She kept track of everything.
Oh, it's junk jewelry. It's costume. Thank you.
And, so your young one,
We still split.
You know what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a frog. My youngest got it for me for Valentine's Day a couple years ago. No, he got money from his grandma. Yeah, he picked it out and everything.
Alan,
Good
I
buddy
hope
of
you're
mine,
feeling
Sergeant
really
there.
good.
Dad,
He died.
Dad,
And Cheryl.
You have gloves on?
my dad does right here.
They said we can't.
They changed their mind.
Yeah, you know what? He's my godson.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetheart.
Uh-huh.
How are you?
You know what? Thank God I'm okay. Thank
Good,
God.
good.
And you too.
Good.
So there's, the thing is,
Careful,
that
careful.
there are no,
So
Thank
your
you.
granddaughter is 5?
Watch out. We have a
Really is.
this one right here. I'm okay. Got out of the way. Dale, Valdo. Be careful, okay?
careful.
Yeah, the zoo.
It's gonna be Zoom.
Yeah, zoo. Yeah. We love you. So now you gotta come over this side of the bay and visit me.
You see the game?
Now you gotta come over this side of the bay and visit
Thank
me.
you. Oh,
Or I
yes,
gotta come, or I gotta go over the other
Oh,
side of the
yeah.
bay and
No,
visit
that's all
you.
right. I'll turn it on.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
It keeps changing.
Everything's fine.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you all. I
Okay.
did it. Sarah?
Yes. He will be here in May.
Oh, that's.
Yeah. I'm gonna be driving down. Hopefully.
I heard he had nice family.
Yeah.
I just want to be sure.
Yeah. Yeah. He and his mom and his whole family, they say that they're sorry for losses and they send their condolences
I think
and a big hug.
I'm very happy.
Escucha la pared, Felipe. Te lo escucho un poquito para acá nomás. Pregúntale la-
Yes, he does.
Maureen, she's very good. And she's a chief accountant. at the company.
That's awesome.
And she's doing- She loves her. Boulevard.
Yeah.
I should say that.
No.
I think it was the last thing she ate that she enjoyed. I would have done it again, but you know, Sasha said something to me the other day. So she's tired.
I think she thought, oh, yeah, I think that she
She said, yes. She kept asking. She had no reason to.
Okay, if you all could take your seats.
She used to talk to her all the time. Have conversations.
And I said,
Well, for me, it's easy because she's a year older than me.
Come, sit down. Sit down.
Sarah, that's so pretty. Did I get you that?
Yep.
oh, that is, where did I get that?
I don't know where you got it, but it's lovely.
What got it for you?
But I don't remember where it is. I know.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of tissues.
So there's a Jewish law that I made up that says that I can't start until all the chairs are filled.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll put Barry here. He would love to be here. He's not very well.
No, he's right here. He's on the computer.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
He said, he was so cute. He said, it's all right to cry. And yes, it is.
Absolutely. So when we hear of a passing, there's a traditional blessing that we say. So if you would repeat after me, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Dayan ha'emet,
Dayan ha'emet.
which means blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, the true judge. We say that because at a moment like this, there's a lot of emotions flowing through us. There's a tremendous sadness for the loss. But to be perfectly honest, there's an anger that I wasn't able to be with her during these last months.
You were
And-
in her heart.
And then there's other emotions that we're feeling, and there's some joy in remembering her life, a life well lived. All these emotions are celebrated in Judaism. But right now, what we have to do is we have to accept that what God has decreed, because there's no turning back. This is what's going to be. So let me begin by reading this from Psalm 16. Shiviti Adonai lenegdi tamid, ki mimoni bel emot, lachein samach libi v'yagel kvodi, af b'sari yishkon lebetach, ki lo ta'azov nafshi lish'ol, lo titen chastecha lirot shachat, todi enich orech chayim, sovas machot et panecha, ne'imot b'mincha netzach. I've set the eternal always at my side. God is before me always. I shall not be moved. Therefore does my heart exult and my soul rejoice. My being is secure. For you will not abandon me to death, nor let your faithful one see destruction. You show me the path of life. Your presence brings fullness of joy. Enduring happiness is your gift. Adonai, ma'adam b'teda'ehu, ben anosh v'tach shavehu. Eternal God, what are we that you have regard for us? What are we that you are mindful of us? We're like a breath. Our days are like a passing shadow. We come and go like grass, which in the morning shoots up renewed, and in the evening fades and withers. You cause us to turn to dust, saying, return, O mortals. Would that we were wise, we understood whither we are going. For when we die, we carry nothing away. Our glory does not accompany us. Mark the wholehearted, and behold the upright. They shall have peace. And now my book says, Esa Enai.
Sarah and I have a couple of songs.
One at a time.
So this is it okay if we take masks off or no?
No.
No, okay. We can hear you. Remember the rest?
My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. This I,
The wonderful thing about Zoom, if there's any wonderful thing, is that I can sing as loud as I want and not bother anybody. Because at Beth Sholem, they used to sing in self-defense.
Hmm.
Okay. There's a wonderful tradition. There's a wonderful tradition that says that at the end of creation, God looked at the angels that we don't believe in. But if we believed in angels, they'd be good for the story. So we'll use them. So God turned to the angels and said to them, what do you think, my creation? One of the angels has the temerity to look at God and say, there's something missing. And if God had an eyebrow, it would have raised and said, oh. And so the angel said, yes, what's missing is the sound of praise of the Creator. And so God created music. And we hear it in the wind going through the trees and the birds singing. And he gave that wonderful blessing to humanity so that we could enjoy life. We continue with Psalms because in time of grief, we listen to the voice of sacred scripture because it brings us the ever new message of God's nearness. It tells us of our kinship with the Creator in light as in darkness, in sorrow as in joy, in life as in death. 23rd Psalm, Mizmor LeDavid, Psalm of David. Adonai ro'i lo eksar, v'nodesha yarbitzeni. Al mei menuchot yinachaleni, nafshi yeshovev. Yanchini v'magalei tzedek lamatan shemo. Gam ki elek v'getza mavet, lo irara, ki ata imadi. Shiftecha mishantecha, hema yechanamuni. Ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged tzorai, Deshanta v'shemen roshi, kosi ravaya. Ach tov v'chesed yudafuni kol yemei chayai, v'shavti v'veit Adonai, l'orech yamim. The eternal God is my shepherd, I shall not want. Making me lie down in green pastures, leading me beside still waters and restoring my soul. God, you lead me in the right paths for the sake of your name. Even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You've anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the eternal forever. And now, how God in here, I don't know, but my book says, Eli, Eli.
Please sing along with us. Eli. Is that too low? Eli. Eli. Shelo yigamer le'olam. Ha'od hayam. Rishru shel hamayim. Erov hashamayim. Tefillat ha'adam. Ha'od hayam. Rishru shel hamayim. Erov hashamayim. Tefillat ha'adam. Hey, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
Thank you. Some people say that I'm a scholar of the Bible, and I've been studying the issue of angels for a long time. And I truly believe that we're mistranslating it. That's the Christian translation from Malachim to Angelos to angels. But actually, Malachim are messages more than messengers. And if you look through the Bible, you'll see that all these Malachim, all these so-called angels come, they do what they're supposed to do, and then they disappear. They're one purpose only, and then they disappear. So it seems to me it's more of an issue of a message than a messenger, than the messengers. And then I found out today that I was wrong, because sometimes God sends messengers who bring the music. Job was a righteous man in the Bible. Job had everything. He had a loving wife. He had sons and daughters, sons-in-laws and daughters-in-law. He had money. He had flocks. He had herds. He had everything. And so, in a wager, God decided to test Job and find out whether Job prayed to God only because he was so blessed. What would happen if he didn't have all these blessings? So God took them away one by one. First the herds, then the flocks, and his money, and his children. And finally, God struck him in his body. In a terrible pain, he sat on the ground. And his wife, who loved him dearly, said to him, "Give up, curse God and die." And Job said, "No, Adonai Natan, Adonai lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai mevarach. The eternal God gives, and the eternal God takes away. Blessed be the name of the eternal. So we are an ancient people. We are too well acquainted with death in the valley of shadows. But we know that a good name lasts longer than death. The rabbis had a tradition, scouring the Torah. They found that the Torah refers to two crowns. One crown that would be worn by the king, King David, and his descendants. And another crown that would be worn by the high priest, the descendants of Aaron. But the rabbis were looking even more carefully and surprisingly found a third crown, the crown of teaching Torah. Should surprise you that the rabbis were teaching Torah. And so they said there's three crowns, one for politics, one for religion, one for study. And they said, oops, there's a fourth crown. Fourth crown greater than the other three combined, the crown of a good name. While we were walking out of the care facility, one of the nurses came by and said, we loved Lila. And I said, have you ever met anybody who didn't? And she said, no. If anybody earned a good name, it's my dear friend Lila. So what I'd like you to do right now is I want you to picture in your mind's eye a special time that you spent with Lila. Her smile, her giggle, her wanting to give you everything that she had. So one of those special times, picture it in your mind. When it's there in your mind, I want you to push it down from your mind into your heart and lock it there. Make that the source of a prayer right now. A prayer for each other, a prayer for ourselves, a prayer that we will be comforted in these difficult times and we'll be there for each other. Let's take a moment for silent prayer. Amen. I drove up here, I parked my car, got out of the car, and next to me was a headstone that said, Pesach wishing, which was the name of the person. But I took it as a greeting for this season. Wishing, yeah. That was the family name, was Wishing, but the person's name was Pesach. And so I just said, this is the right day. This is the right day. The sun is shining. She's just looking down on us. The two most important women in my life before I met my wife were my mother and my grandmother, both very dear to me. My mother said to me, my mother of blessed memory said to me, if you're going to read Eshet Chayil, a woman of valor, at my funeral, then you have to promise me that you won't read it for every single funeral, but that you'll read it for only people who deserve it. And so I hold it back for people who really deserve it. Eshet Chayil miyimse, a woman of valor, seek her out, for she is valued above rubies. Her husband and children trust her. They cannot fail to prosper. All the days of her life, she is good to them. Adorned with strength and dignity, she looks to the future with cheerful trust. Her speech is wise, and the law of kindness is on her lips. Her children rise up to call her blessed. Her husband likewise praise her. Many women have done well, but you surpass them all. Charm is only on the surface and beauty may be short-lived, but a woman loyal to God has truly earned praise. Give her honor for her work. Her life proclaims her praise. Lila was one of my women of valor. And her strength and her dignity and her cheerfulness and kindness, it was as if King Solomon had met Lila before he wrote this chapter in Psalms.
Hmm.
And my grandmother of blessed memory, she was the chaplain of every Jewish organization there was on earth. Okay, maybe just in her region, but whatever. She would write the invocation for all these meetings back in the day when we had invocations. And I inherited a box of her invocations, hundreds of them. So if there were 300 of them, 150 began with Song of Songs. For lo, the winter is past, and the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard throughout the land. The winter is past. The dark days that have been so difficult are over. And now we walk forward into the spring. And Lila wants us to hear the birds singing, to see every tree that's blossoming, and to see in each other the Tselem Elohim, the image of God. See, birth is a beginning and death is a destination, but life is a journey, a growing from stage to stage, from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion, and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength, or strength to weakness, and often back again, from health to sickness, and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey stage by stage a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, but life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage made stage by stage, from birth to death to life everlasting. From the moment I met Lila, she and Harry were together. I never knew them as anything other than Lila and Harry. I said that when Harry's at Harry's funeral. They were together. They were classic. They were too little to be bookends, but they were cute. I wanted to put them in my pocket. And so it makes it so clear what Abravanel, the medieval commentator, was saying when he wrote, "Love turns one person into two and two into one." That's what they were. And then when Harry passed, we got to be the other partner. And each one of us felt like we were there. We were there, and it was only me, right? She made me feel like I was the only rabbi in the world. Well, because there's a trick. The Berditcher Rebbe, the Hasidic Rebbe said, "Do you desire people to love you? Love them first." That's what she did. She just oozed her love for everybody and everything. But greater than being loved, our rabbis teach, is knowing that you're loved. And I know that she knew how much you loved her. And I just pray that you know how much she loved you. When she would miss a service once a month at Baywood, I would find her in her room. I say, "What's the problem?" "There's no problem." She's fine. She just didn't feel well enough to come to me. And then she'd go around the family and tell me what everybody was doing and how everybody was and how wonderful they were and what they did for her. She was unique. She was just unique. Barry, The last comment about love. Love is the best medicine. Those who turn their lives inside out for others throughout their entire lives. That's what the rabbis were talking about. We have a tradition that says, from the Talmud, it's 2,000 years old. It says, to smile at your neighbor is more important than to treat her to a drink. Her smile is what will stay with me for the rest of my life. Always smiling, no matter what the circumstance was, no matter where she was. Happiness. Baruch Spinoza, early modern, probably the first modern philosopher, said very simply, happiness is a virtue. It's not a reward, right? That was her personality, was to be happy. Didn't matter what was going on outside of her. She was happy. Everything was okay. Now, I have to find this quote for you because I don't know where I put it. Okay, I can't find it. But basically, recently, a psychologist said that the average person lies about 4 times each hour. And then he started figuring out how many lies that would be in a week, and how many lies that'd be in a year, and how many lies that would be in a lifetime. And then he wrote, and the most common lie is, I'm fine. So you lied. But I'm gonna accept it. Talmud teaches that the deeds of kindness weigh as much as all the other commandments combined. She was the kindest person I think I've ever known. Oh, here it is. It tells 1,400 lies in a year, 87,000 by the age of 60. The most common. Okay. I wanted to say I could keep talking. I'm gonna have to stop sometime. I loved Lila. She just oozed the love back. It was amazing to me that so much love could be in such a little tiny body. And frail, and not willing to accept that she was frail. She'll always be special to me. Oh, one more tradition from the Talmud, from the Midrash, actually. It's also a 2,000-year-old tradition. One who is kind to a rabbi is rewarded by God as though was kind to the entire people of Israel. No, nobody was more kind to me. Not how did she die, but how did she live? Not what did she gain, but what should she give? These are the units to measure the worth of a person as a person, regardless of birth. Not what was her station, but had she a heart? And how did she play her God-given part? Was she ever ready with a word of good cheer to bring back a smile and banish a tear? Not what was her shrine, nor what was her creed, but had she befriended those really in need? Not what did the sketch in the newspaper say, but how many of us were sorry, so truly sorry, when she passed away? You too will have the trouble that I have trying to limit the praise for Lila. But we're going to have her rest in peace. Okay, if you're able, please rise. El Molei Rachamim, Shochin Bam Ramim, Hamtzei Menucha Nachonat Tachat Kanfei Shechina, Im Kedoshim Utoharim Kezohar Arakia, Mazhirim et Nishmat, Leah Bat Chaim V'Malka, Shahachal Olama. Bal HaRachamim, Yastireha Beseder Kanafav, La'olamim, V'yitzur Batzur HaChaim et Nishmata, Adonai Hu Naklata, V'tanuach B'Shalom HaMishkavah, V'nomar, Amen.
Amen.
Compassionate God, eternal spirit of the universe, Grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Lila Kluger, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge forever in the shadow of your wings. Let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. Now, do any of you want to say a word or two? Okay, then I'll. No? Change your
She
mind?
was everything to me. If I needed an answer, she always gave me one. If it was bad, she'd say, oh, well. But you know what?
I could hear
She
that.
knew
can't
all
you?
the answers. Politics, life, people, everything.
Okay, so go ahead,
I
please.
wear these earrings. They're not Avon, okay? But I've been wearing these because I always called her my wise old owl, and she just would chuckle like that. She just thought it was so cute. But she's given me tips and advice, and given us as a family suggestions and advice, and I just always thought of her that way too. So I wear these for her, my wife.
She always thought of other people, like you said. When I would visit, she'd always want to give me food.
Always.
And she'd say, take this with you. Take this with you. And even 2 days before she died, she couldn't eat solid food. And they had to puree it. It was like baby food. She could only eat a little bit. And she said, take this with you.
For your baby.
I didn't want to say, I'm not going to eat that stuff because I wanted her to eat it.
Now you have to think in your heart of hearts, did she know what she was doing?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my best memories from her is when I was young and I got sick. She would bring in a humidifier, and then she'd get a sheet and she'd put it over me, and then she'd climb in and she'd sing Yiddish songs to me.
Oh my.
I think she was the most social and friendly person I have ever known. Anywhere we went, through Baywood to a restaurant, she would introduce us all to the waiter, try to find out about their life. People walking by, she would say hello. So
Her sister's the same way. Yeah, it's a family thing. Yeah.
It's a family gene. I am
It is.
positive. I am absolutely positive. Got carried on to the next generation. I'm not going to say anybody in particular. Okay. Somebody else is going to say something.
No, she'd go into when she'd go into cars
with bunny ears and
Perfect.
yeah, I'll show people. But it was really great because some of the filters are interactive. So you open your mouth or you give a kiss and something happens. So I have her like, she just loved it, and she was like opening her mouth. It was great. She just really enjoyed anything that was fun.
Gosh, I don't recognize that from anything that you said. Oh wait, never. Everything. She was that wonderful person.
When Sasha was very little, he was shy. He didn't turn into the social butterfly he is now until he was about 15. So they would drag him all over the place and do all the social things that he says. They'd take him to the senior pancake breakfast with all the old people. And he was just like, she said, if we don't get him out there in the world, he won't know how to act. So I am so grateful he grew up, and he sure does.
Just be grateful that she didn't try to get you a match.
she did.
Oh, she
She did. Yeah.
I think she
One
did
of
that. I
them
think she
was
did that for
younger.
all of us.
Yeah.
I think, over the past probably 10, 15 years, she tried to match me up with a friend of hers daughter, who I think was 15, and also another friend of hers daughter, who was, I think, 50. So she didn't care. She doesn't.
I think someone might be trying to speak on the
Oh,
computer.
somebody's trying to say something on the computer.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
listen.
Hold on, let me
heard
turn up
the
the
doorbell.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it. All right. All right. I think we can hear you.
Can we see him?
We have to unmute our microphones, Sasha, before anybody can talk. We're just doing that right now, okay?
We hear you.
We hear you.
Good.
Yay.
Yeah, that she's the host.
Oh, this is wonderful.
What do you want to say?
You want to say something, honey?
Oh, there's so many things, so many stories. We've been, Kim and I have been,
Very.
Oh, okay.
and Kim and I have been, remembering all sorts of things, Kim mentioned one, she was the candy grandma to all of her grandkids. And when we got married in Colorado here, we had sort of a hippie wedding in the mountains, and she flew
I
out.
remember that, Barry and Kim. That's Ellen.
Yeah,
That's a good
and
memory still for me.
yeah, she flew out, and we were doing sort of self-catering, and Kim's family was making things. And my mom I had this big old hard side suitcase. She opened it up, and it was chock full of zucchini bread. Homemade.
I seriously remember that too, really.
Do you?
I do. It just, you brought it back. Yes.
It was hysterical. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm
Wow.
surprised that she didn't bring her potato salad. The recipe was a 10-pound bag of potatoes, a jar of best food mayonnaise, and a jar of olives.
Yeah.
That would be great, Larry.
Wow.
So is there anybody else on this call?
It's Kim and Barry, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of people on the call. We're trying to unmute everyone so they can,
They can unmute themselves.
okay, you can unmute yourselves. Yeah, okay.
If anybody wants to speak, because I can't see, you'll have to just start speaking.
Yeah, well, there's a number of us here, and this is Max, by the way, her other grandson, and I just really want to emphasize, how lucky I feel to have known her while I was growing up and being so close with her. Of course, what everybody said about her is so true, and I was able to just absorb all of that as a child and think that that was normal, and feel so lucky to have grown up with the moral strength and kindness that she always showed everyone. So yeah, I'm really gonna miss her, and I'm so glad to have spent the time and feel so lucky to have spent the time that I did with her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Anybody else?
I'm going to switch the laptops real quick for battery. So
Okay.
It's Julie here, Alan's daughter. I just remember all the hugs she used to give, and when my grandma passed, she was like a second grandmother to me. So wonderful memories. Definitely am gonna miss her a lot.
sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
Anybody
just
else?
just swapping to this.
What was that, Sasha? The last person?
Just an audio.
That was Julie. That was Alan's daughter.
Okay.
Anybody else want to speak? Okay, thank you so much. That was just fabulous.
That was cool. How modern.
Right?
Yeah, thank you so much for allowing us to be there today. I would love to be there in person, of course, but yeah, the times are tricky, so
Yeah.
it's really touching to see you all there.
Yeah. I love to everybody.
Thank you. We're going to turn to the Kaddish now.
Okay.
I didn't bring them because I thought that we would have them. Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'Alma Divrach Yerutei v'Yamlich Malchutei v'Chayechon v'Yomechon v'Chayedecho Beit Yisrael v'Agala v'Zman Kariv Yimru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mivarach le'olam olomei almaya. Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yitpa'ar v'Yitromam v'Yitnaseh v'Yitadar v'Yitalev v'Yitalal Shemei Dekudashah Richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, da'amiram bialma, v'yimru amen. Yehi shalom araba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Osei shalom v'yimrumav, v'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru amen. Lech Yisrochaka Adonai. Go your way, for God has called you. Lech Adonai imach. Go your way, and may God be with you. V'halach lefanecha tzidkecha. Kavod Adonai ya'aspecha. May your righteousness go before you, and the glory of the eternal receive you. So I say to all of you, may God console you with all who mourn in Zion and Jerusalem. Hamakom yinachem etchem betok sha'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. And now I bid you to go forth in life to peace. So we're going to take a handful or 3 of earth and throw it in. These are the rules. No shovels, just handfuls. Throw in a couple of handfuls or 1 is fine. And then there are wipes for your hands because they're not allowing us to have water today.
Rabbi, I just thought of something. We spoke to our rabbi a couple of days, on Wednesday afternoon, and she was been aware for years of Lila's, frailty, as you probably called. And I commented, I said I get so frustrated sometimes when people might pass just a few days before a birthday, and I was like, well, you don't get credit for that, right? So she said, and she told me that Moses, on the 6th of Adar, I think, or 7th of Adar, was born and passed on the same day. So she's in that company, our rabbi explained. I don't know if you concur with that, but it was a warm feeling.
If the rabbi said it, it's right.
Okay. She's from Los Angeles, but she travels, before pandemic, traveled weekly to Ner Tamid in San Francisco. And she's a rabbi there.
She married 2 years ago, and she's grown children.
Of his and
She writes an article in the J.
Rabbi Shane. She's you'd like her. I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
She's very warm.
I don't think
very
I've met her
warm
at the Board of Rabbis yet. And so I'll make sure that she gets there the next time.
Yeah.
Did you invite everyone? So just let one go.
Yes, of course.
I knew him before he was born.
Okay, I'll believe you.
I know that family for about 50 years.
Wow.
I know his sister.
Of course I know.
And you know.
Oh no, can't do that.
No, I forget. It's that nice.
I live near the
Have you gotten your vaccination?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like I look out my window
I'll do
and
all
the
that.
tunnel's right there.
Rabbi, do you want to give this to the family?
I would, yeah. Yeah,
Sure,
not anymore.
thank you very much.
No.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Well, I know I'm teaching at Temple Sinai.
This one's a little wetter, sir.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, beginning to and Oh, really? Oh, cool.
You guys talk like every day, right? Sometimes twice a day.
That's awesome.
When she got flowers from Barry and Kim, she would call me and say, "Oh, I got the most beautiful."
I like your hat.
This is their problem. Very upset.
I'm sure. But
I mean, they played a good game last year.
didn't you just have surgery?
And he's
They made it pretty far.
I worked until I was 89.
Dana Hora with that French.
They beat the Angels, so
I heard.
I'm good with that. As long as
The last time I saw you, you were still working. So
Yeah.
they let you, right?
Talk to the people over here.
That's nice.
Hi. I threw in a handful for Max.
No.
Is your son still doing second hand?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I love it.
Okay. Let me. Okay. Okay. So
His son does Superman.
this is for you.
Yeah, yeah. He has like a
There's a candle in there.
comic
Somebody candle for the Shiva.
Did Barbara talk to you yet?
No.
Barbara? Let me get it.
Hey, it's good to see you, Annie. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Lila,
How you doing, Charlie?
Nobody can leave until we all leave. We all have to go together.
Are they still on Zoom?
I don't know.
I want to thank everybody for being here in spirit on Zoom. It felt really special to have all of you involved also. Thank you very much.
First, Larry.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Larry.
Larry.
Thank you.
You don't have to do
He baked an under cookie.
Call. Yeah. They'll be there till 4. So I'm gonna say,
Director go.
no.
And then if you guys want to stay a bit longer.
Man, I'm just gonna leave this. I don't need to put anything in the cabin.
Steve.
Well, I guess there's not much more to be said, so of course I'll say it. Um,
How long did it take
you know, she's greatly missed by everybody in my family, in my immediate family. And thought I might have saw Shirley sneak by there. But we love her as well and hope she's doing okay. You guys take good care of her. And we miss our little meetings. We had a phone meeting with Lila about a month ago, and she was normal. She was totally, all up and high and positive, and it was a great last visit. Ah, look at Shirley. Hi, Bubby.
That is beautiful.
We love you all.
Yep, that's Scott there.
Right.
He wanted to say
And there
hello.
I am with my mascot.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, you want
And
to say
here I am. It's Max over here
That's
in New Mexico in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
What a country.
That's beautiful.
You want to give hello to everyone?
Pardon?
You want to wave hello to everyone?
Oh, yes.
Give them a little.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we can see you, Shirley.
That was probably the first one to sign me.
All right, I'll bring you back over here.
Thank you for your help with this, Sasha. I think some of us are going to log out now, but we really
Okay.
appreciate you.
And thanks Sarah too, big time. She brought the
Absolutely.
backup computer when mine ran out of batteries here. So
Thank you both. It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Thanks.
yeah, thanks everyone for coming. It was really great to see you all, and sorry it's for the occasion, but
Oh,
Yeah.
and Janelle was going to log in, but she's got 4 more minutes. She's not going to make it.
oh well, that's
But
all right.
she'll want to see this, and
Well,
she loves you all. She cried
nice
quite a
to see you.
bit.
Nice to see you, Scott.
we're recording it and we will send out copies to anybody who wants it.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks so much. We'll
Thank you.
get it to anyone who needs it.
Yeah.
All right.
Good Shabbos. Happy Pesach.
Happy Pesach. Love y'all. All right. I'll log
Thank
on.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Should we start recording?